Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week we've got super expensive and, well, super light paintwork, as well as a lightweight seat post, lightweight wheels, a strange BMX.
And this week's hot topic is tech trends at the Tour de France. This week's hot topic, we're talking tech trends at the Tour de France.
Yeah, I'm back from the Tour de France now, but while I was there, I managed to get around and see most of the teams, and while I was doing so, I saw a lot of tech. So we've got some videos coming out about this, but in the meantime, I thought it'd be cool to talk about some of the trends that we saw with that tech. I mean,
quickly though, how many restraining orders have you got from teams so far?
I'm not allowed to say.
I don't reckon you've equalled my number. I don't reckon you've equalled it. Okay, come on then, hit me. What's the first one that you spotted out there?
Well, I mean, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop over there, but one of the things was certainly weight. I mean, it felt like the teams were paying closer attention to trying to get the bikes bang on the 6.8 UCI limit than they have in the past.
Yeah, it's interesting that. I mean, team leaders have always been pretty obsessive over that, haven't they? Trying to get it as light as possible, but domestiques, not necessarily. But I totally reckon you're onto something there. They are trying to get as light as possible. And with the lightweight aero bikes that we're seeing now, we discussed last week, it's certainly possible. One of the bikes which you saw, and also I saw it back at the UAE tour, is that of Dan Martin, that Colnago V2R. Now that is a lightweight bit of kit, isn't it? Because he's got a special bike.
So UAE Team Emirates have got a special version of that bike that we can't buy, or you can't buy.
We all can't buy.
That's 200 grams lighter than the commercially available one. Just Aru and Dan Martin.
How have they done that?
I've got that one.
How?
Well, it appears they've taken the paint off it.
Ah, right.
Paint can save a lot of weight, which is quite interesting. And Sky, they had their X-Lite model as well for Bernal and Geraint Thomas, which is 100 grams lighter than the normal F12.
So what have they done with that? Remind me, how have they got that lighter?
The X-Lite, it appeared to have minimal paint on it once again.
Yeah.
But also I think the layup has been tweaked slightly as well to make it lighter.
Interesting stuff. Do like a lightweight bike.
Yeah, that was coming in well under the UCI limit.
What?
But they still had to add the transponders and things to it. So.
Oh, right, okay. Only this lot, they might end up, grassing, so to speak, on Bernal's bike. Now, integration is big. We're seeing more and more one-piece aerodynamic handlebars and stems, aren't we? But there's one thing which still stands out more than anything when it comes to handlebars, and that is round classic drop bars. You see so many of them out there, don't you?
Yeah, the pros still seem to, most of the pros still favour the round bar.
Yeah, which kind of surprises me really, because with the older generation of pros, I can understand that, but these days there's a lot more younger talent and the younger generation coming through, and compact bars have been around for so long now, you would have thought that would continue, but I guess it's something to do with just being able to get a little bit lower when you get on the drops.
Yeah, and well, you can see some footage here of the EF Education first team's bikes. You've got Mike Woods, who's got the aero cockpit one piece, but pretty much the rest of the team all were choosing a standard round bar and stem option, despite it being less aero. But this was the same throughout most of the teams that I saw as well. Interesting.
Yeah, I do like a bit of tradition like that. What is really weird though, right, is when you see an aero bike that's had everything done to it, and then suddenly it's just a normal stem and normal bars on it.
Yeah.
And you ask the riders why, and they just go, quite often it's because of comfort. They're just not quite as stiff, are they? So you just get that little bit more, I don't know, give, if you like, across the rough roads.
Yeah, and while on the subject of super lightweight bikes and meeting the UCI limit, we've got an exciting, well, it's top secret at the moment, bike that we saw at the tour. We can't talk about it until the weekend, but there's a video coming out at the weekend about it, so stay tuned for that.
What bike's that?
Can't tell you, mate. It's top secret.
What bike is it? Now, in terms of time trial tech, the UCI, they were there checking for motor doping, although I'm not quite sure if any rider is quite silly enough to do that anymore. But also there was the sock police.
Yeah, well, they were, but I don't think the sock police would be arresting us anytime, John. They'd be giving us special commendations.
Really?
Because we'd be wearing the GCN Cycling Club socks.
Of course, yes, we were.
Look
at those founder member socks there.
Yeah, only available to GCN Cycling Club members.
I like this. It's like a Mondrian style sort of print, isn't it? But in a fluoro type colour.
Yeah.
I like those. Right, anyway, what's this sock police all about then?
Yeah, well, I hope you appreciated that seamless plug. Yeah. But yeah, the sock police were out in force because wearing slightly longer socks is believed to have a marginal aerodynamic benefit, which is obviously of use in time trials. However, the UCI wants to preserve the aesthetic of the sport and stop us looking like triathletes or
footballers,
schoolgirls. But but for that reason, there's the rule which the sock cannot go past the midpoint of the calf.
Yeah, and now they actually had quite an interesting testing apparatus, if you like, for that, didn't they? And I think our good friend Rob Hales described it as looking like a windscreen wiper from an Austin Maestro. Yeah.
Brilliant car.
We'll leave it there, UCI. Get yourself a better tool than that.
Yeah. Enough of that sock silliness, John. But something else we spotted was tyres, right? Increasingly, we're seeing more clinchers and tubeless setups, particularly in time trials. The perception being that clinchers and tubeless offer lower rolling resistance, and there's also better aerodynamics with the way that the tyre interface is on where it connects to the wheel as well.
Yeah, now there's also said to be sort of, better protection against punctures as well with the tubeless tyres, isn't that right? So they seal just a little bit easier, unlike a traditional tubular. Unless you're using a sealant in there, it's just going to leave you deflated. But something which you also spotted out there was UAE Team Emirates.
Yeah.
They're using on some of the flatter stages some tubeless tyres. Yeah. And then when they go into the mountains, they're going to be using a lighter weight tubular tyre.
Yeah, so tubs in the mountains.
Attention to detail like that is great, isn't it?
Yeah, because there is a slight weight penalty with a clincher wheel setup still, and also some of the teams don't like using the tubulars and clinchers still because there's a safety element. So it's that thing of when you get a flat on a tubular tyre, you can ride the tub. And a lot of the mechanics were saying they would rather have that ability to ride the flat tub for a while rather than, you know.
Yeah, especially on an alpine descent where, you know, your team car is likely to be quite far behind you or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also in the time trials, there was teams, I think, Katusha using clincher tyres. Pretty sure that EF Education First, they do as well.
Yeah.
Lotto Sudal, their front wheels at least, because I don't think Campagnolo make a clincher disc wheel. They might have done by the time this video goes out.
Yeah,
who knows?
well,
There's all sorts coming, isn't there?
Movistar, right?
Go on.
Movistar were using clincher tyres in the time trial with latex tubes.
Movistar,
from Continental, And I mean, this is crazy. Like, when you go around the teams and you look at sort of marginal gains tech and the teams that really pay attention to the little details, Movistar are probably the last. They are the most traditional team.
The mechanics are absolutely great. They've been around donkey's years. You know, I see them, I'm like thinking, you were there 20 years ago when that team was whatever they were, like Benesto or whatever. Like,
but when Movistar start paying attention to marginal gains like that, then you know cycling is in a completely different place now to where it was.
I didn't expect them to do that.
Yeah.
Now, ceramic bearings, they have a fairly split opinion, don't they, amongst tech nerds out there, whether or not they do actually provide any marginal gains or benefits. But with that debate aside, we're not going to go down that route, are we, today?
That's a can of worms.
Yeah, and we're probably never going to go down there because I don't know enough about it. Either way, they are still being used, in particular the oversized pulley wheel system from Ceramic Speed. So you got squads like Agir Desar, Le Mondial, they're using them on their road bikes. EF Education First, pretty sure I spotted those on their time trial bikes too. So everyone's still seeking those little marginal gains.
Yeah, and a few of the teams out there have more discrete ceramic bearings. So Lotto Sudal have got sort of C-bear bearings in their bottom brackets and headsets and things like that. And well, also you mentioned EF Education First, the Vision wheels have all got ceramic bearings in, but it doesn't it's not, you know, massively obvious. There's not a big sign, but yeah, they do. Yeah,
that's right. Unless you've got the eagle eye or the restraining order, you're unlikely to really spot them. And finally, what about then Team Ineos, the kings of marginal gains? Well, they were reported to be using, wait for it, a £6,000 chain on their bikes, which left us scratching our heads somewhat, didn't it?
Yeah.
Thinking, well, we should nick a couple of their bikes because that'd be worth about 20 grand a bike.
Yeah, there were a few headlines out there saying £6,000 chains, but this is slightly misleading. £6,000 was sort of the development cost of that particular method of treating a standard Shimano chain with muck off lubricant and wax to the point where it is especially wax treated chain that offers, well, a slight marginal gain of a few watts.
Yeah, but the actual cost of that product is about £49.99 for a bottle. So not the £6,000 that could be slightly misleading there. But yeah, I absolutely love the tour for tech. Great, isn't it?
Yeah, but we want to, what tech have you spotted at the tour? Let us know in the comments below. And also, if you have any questions about Tour de France Tech, because we've been on the ground there, we might be able to answer them. So fire down below.
Get involved. What tech trends have you noticed this year at the tour? Right, hot tech now. And some of you may well remember back in 2017, Mark Cavendish, who sadly isn't at the Tour de France this year, but we won't talk about that because that's been discussed quite a lot so far in the media. He had himself a really fancy bike, didn't he? That Cervelo of his had this like chromatic green paint that our very own Tom Last got to check out and left his own grubby little fingerprints on it. Now that chromatic paint was done by Silverstone Paint Technology. And this year, the team of Team Sunweb, they've had their Cervelos painted by Silverstone too.
Yeah, and this isn't just to make them look nice, which they do look very nice.
Love a custom paint job.
Yeah, normal paint adds, well, 200, 300 grams to a frame, which is significant, right? So if you remove it, you can save a bit of weight, and that's what we saw with some of the other bikes we talked about earlier. But Sunweb wanted to paint their bikes, so they used this special paint, which adds just, well, about 10 grams, because it's super amazing special paint that they use on Formula 1 cars, and it's 0.01 microns thick.
Or millimetres even.
Yeah.
I would have thought you'd know that.
No, it's 10 microns thick,
That's right.
which is 0.01 millimetres.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they use this paint as like a heat shield as well. So it must have some sort of like amazing properties.
Would you like it on your bike?
I would, yeah. So Silverstone Paint Technology, if you're watching, I would like it on my bike.
It costs £4,000 a frame.
I probably wouldn't like it on my bike. 4,000?
It looks amazing. I want it. It looks amazing.
Surely all of Sunweb can't have that. If you think each rider has at least 3 road bikes, probably 2 time trial bikes, that is a lot of money.
Well, keep an eye out.
Yeah,
Keep an eye out.
That's fancy, isn't it?
Sticking with lightweight and very fancy stuff, some Team Ineos riders were spotted riding some non-sponsor correct lightweight Milan Stein Obermeyer wheels, which was quite curious.
Yeah, and lightweight they are too, just 935 grams a pair, which is simply incredible. Now they're not the most aerodynamic wheels out there, are they?
Well, no. If you ask lightweight themselves, they'll say it's not an aero wheel. It's not designed to be an aero wheel. It's a common misconception. What they are designed to be is very light and very stiff.
Yeah.
But what confuses me is we actually weighed Egan Bernal's bike, and it was under the UCI limit with sponsor correct wheels in. So I don't really understand the benefit of why they would use them.
Who knows? Well, we'll have to just keep our eyes peeled, won't we? And watch every single stage and see if or when anyone's going to use them.
Yeah.
Because they are going to get the bike very light. Another lightweight thing now, and THM, who are renowned for their lightweight componentry, have released a new seat post called the Mandibula, and it's got quite a strange appearance to it really, with that cutout in it. It reminds me a bit of the Miche Super Type seat post, but this one is pretty impressive. Firstly, it's designed around 2 different areas. You've got the comfort zone and the power zone. So the comfort zone part of the seat post is designed to flex just enough to give you a little bit of comfort, whereas the power zone doesn't move at all and lets you lay down the power.
Yeah, so the carbon layup has been designed and constructed in such a way that it's designed to reduce oscillations and vibrations over rough surfaces. And we said it was light, just 150 grams, which, well, is impressive.
Yeah.
And it can take riders up to a claimed 110 kilograms.
Which is £240, I think, for our friends.
Quick maths.
In the USA, yeah, I do my very best.
But price-wise, it isn't especially lightweight. Brace yourselves for this. €549.
Blimey, that is expensive, isn't it? It's a lot of money, but I'm sure someone out there will buy that. But it's a drop in the ocean, I guess, compared to that Silverstone paint technology.
Yeah, and finally, for those of you who are fans of the show Stranger Things, you can now buy replicas of the 1980s bikes that the main characters ride.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If you're not familiar with the show, it's one of my favourites. It's set in the 1980s in America. Paranormal stuff goes down, and most importantly for us, the main characters are kids and they ride bikes. And these are the bikes you can get. It's kind of similar to the Goonies or E.T. or John's favourite, the BMX Bandits.
No, I'm more of a Goonies man. I could watch that, I reckon, once a week.
Anyway, you can check out this
Goonies.
Schwinn.
Never say die.
Hey, you guys! Check out this Schwinn BMX that is a replica of what Lucas rides. And then also it's rather cool BMX, which is a replica of Max's bike.
I'll tell you what, the reach on Lucas's bike, as I'm led to believe that's his name, that's a big old reach.
Yeah.
That's not very safe,
Wow.
I don't reckon. Unless these paranormal characters or creatures, whatever, they've got very long arms, I don't know. I've not seen it.
You should watch it, it's good.
I don't think it'd be up my street, mate.
It's now time for screw riding upgrades, buy upgrades.
We need like a noise of like cha-ching.
Yeah, well, you
Don't we?
submit
Yeah.
evidence of your upgrades that you've made to your bikes or equipment for the chance to win the ultimate prize, the GCN Camelback Eddy water bottle. I don't know where it is.
No, I don't know where it is this week, actually. Someone else is getting
But you can win
hydrated.
one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, last week.
Yeah, last week, well, the winner was your mate from Sheffield, John. Well, I don't know if he's your mate or not, really, but he's from the same neck of the woods, isn't he? Yeah, and he had that British Eagle bike that he lovingly restored after his dad finally let him get his grubby little hands on it.
Fair one, John.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Arctic thingies?
Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, they'll be very proud of you as well.
They will.
Was that right? Yeah, good. Right, okay, this week then, the first contender is Jack from Epping Forest, which is in Essex in the UK. Now, Jack was after a post-1955 Rally Lenton with the more aggressive geometry and found a lovely frame on eBay for £25. Now, that is so exact, isn't it, what he was looking for?
I used to live in the Rally factory in Lenton.
Well, there we are.
Fact.
Used to live in, okay, right, not really knowing
another
exactly what it was, Jack bought a Rudge Pathfinder, which apparently is a Rally Lenton frame, but with a different fork. Jack found that it was a crash-damaged fork, which was making the head tube look steeper in the photo, and it was actually a pre-1955 frame. Jack straightened out the fork with a hydraulic press fashioned out of a 1980s ladies rally frame and set to work on the vintage bike Facebook groups trying to put an age on it. Blimey. Jack later managed to narrow it down to the fourth quarter of 1947 based on the dates on the Sturmey Archer hubs fitted to the other Rudge bikes with similar frame numbers either side of it.
Bit of a detective.
I'll tell you what, he's a bit of a tech nerd.
Yeah,
Isn't he?
I like
Nerd.
him. I like Jack.
Now, Jack's bike doesn't wear its very deep drops. He's obviously gone for the semi-compact bars. Instead, it's fitted with touring bars, but Jack has been as sympathetic as possible to its history. The lock and pedals, however, are modern day parts. An AXA Defender for security and the Superstar Nano X pedals, which Jack loves and fits to everything.
Let's have a look then.
Right, yeah, here are pictures that Jack took before
Yeah.
he started, interim pictures, and also it's assembled with all of its components. There it is, but first that old wreck. I like the colour. There it is with the deep drop bars, big old Schwalbe tyres. And then here's the final one. That's a lovely bike for around town, isn't it?
Superb, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And just think, Ollie, you've lived in the factory where that bike was built.
I have indeed, yeah.
Right, who's Jack up against?
Right.
That's a nice looking bike.
Jack is up against Francisco from Bremen in Deutschland.
Right. Okay, what's Francisco got in his workshop then?
Francisco bought a cheap used road bike to start out with and see, well, if he liked it, and he did like it.
Oh, that's always good news, Francisco.
So Francisco started upgrading. He got new aero bars, lower stem, carbon fibre seat post, and he also enjoyed your video series, Cheap Bike Superbike.
Oh, thank you.
So that inspired him to continue upgrading.
Yeah.
New group set, all that sort of stuff. Ultegra 6700 and 11 speed, and well, he's painted it as well, and then reassembled it. So check this out.
Well, there it is at first, laid up against that park bench. Just have some of that.
Look at that, yeah.
Yeah, dynamics. Crumbs! Look at the state of his bedroom, Francisco. You could at least made the bed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I don't know what to think about that.
Well, let's hope it was worth it.
Yeah, come on, show us the final. Look at that.
Very smart.
That is nice, isn't it?
Very smart. I do appreciate the improved paint job there.
Yeah, matte black it looks to be.
Yeah.
It's got a
Wunderbar.
Yeah, a nice pair of Mavic wheels on there as well. They're not like mine. It's not the bike fault, I know, but I'll tell you what, that bedroom, what a state that's in.
Well,
Who's it going to be? Jack or Francisco?
Francisco's. Das ist fantastisch. Francisco.
Yeah, right, anyway, you decide. Vote up there, top right-hand corner, and next week we will have 2 more battling it out.
Right, yeah.
So please do that bed.
Make your bet.
It's disgusting.
Bike of the week time now.
Oh yeah, we had a special episode last week, didn't we?
A 4-way.
We had a 4-way.
What were the results of the 4-way?
Well, it was very, very close actually, just 2% in it, but the winner with 36% of the votes, that Pinarello F12. That was people's favourite lightweight aero bike or aero lightweight bike.
The Cannondale and the Scott Addy. Pinarello.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Right, bike vault time now, Ollie. Our favourite part of the show, it has to be said, doesn't it?
Certainly is.
Especially after last week's plane spotting section. I do like a plane. Do like to spot a plane.
Yeah. Well, the Bike Vault, if you're unfamiliar, you submit pictures of your bikes using the uploader, link down below, and we judge them to be either nice or super nice. And if they're super nice...
Ollie rings the bell.
Not this week, John.
Oh, okay.
Not this week. It's you're ringing it this week.
Okay, it looks like I'm going to ring the bell this week.
Maybe next week.
Right, not a problem. Okay, well, first up this week is Dean from Brisbane. And the Willia. Look at that. That's a beauty, isn't it?
It's nice Villia there, mate.
Struth. That was bad.
Yeah,
that's what I did there. That's beautiful, isn't it?
I mean, that's super nice.
There's
beautiful photography.
I mean, I tell you what, I think that our submission definitely reads Amateur Photography Monthly magazine like we do ourselves.
Yes,
yeah.
That's a classic. That's beautiful. Well lit.
Yeah.
I love the vignette.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of vignettes.
And also,
it's not too much. Sometimes people can overdo it, can't they?
Yeah, I think we should give him a super nice, just on the basis, commiserations for the fact that Australia are going to lose the Ashes in the summer.
Yeah, and probably the Cricket World Cup as well, Ollie.
Yes.
Which, we won't go too much into. Yeah, and I like the pointing in the brickwork in the back. Oh, super nice. Okay. Blimey. Okay, right. Who have we got next then, Ollie?
We've got Dan from the Malvern Hills in Worcestershire. He says, please exclude the bottle on storage bottle mismatch. Good chain though. Yeah, he's got a gold chain on there.
Always works.
Yeah.
There's a lot of logos going on this bike, isn't there?
There is. And, I mean, there's a bit of a jaunty angle.
The photo's not the sharpest either, is it, from Dan from the Malvern Hills?
Was Dan drunk when he took the picture, or is it taken on a hill?
Is that lavender or is it bluebells? Lavender, I think
that's
isn't it?
Lavender,
yeah,
yes.
I do like lavender.
Yes.
Supercars bar tape, it looks like. Prime wheels. Gold chain, we've already mentioned.
It's very smart.
I mean, they are mismatched bottles, but it is in fact a Bianchi storage bottle on the seat tube there, isn't it?
Yes. You know what? I'm leaning towards super nice on that one.
I am too, actually. Yeah. Shall we?
I mean, he's breaking a few rules.
Yeah, but rules are made to be broken.
We can let things slide.
Well, I mean, we decide, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we get a bit of grief, don't we, from this lot?
Yeah.
From the tech squadron. Haven't said that for a while.
Yeah.
But
Tech
ultimately, we decide.
We do.
Yeah. Super nice. Lucky Dan from the Malverns. Right, next up. Go on, you can say it. I know you really want to say it.
It's Michael from Koblenz, mein Lieblingsstadt in Deutschland. Home of Canyon as well, actually.
Yeah, so this is Michael's Canyon Aero CF-SL Custom. Now, Michael did actually say in his submission that they've got a pair of custom painted handlebars, and also you can see that on the seat post as well. See
that? Do you know what? That paint job, I can't tell from the lighting in the photo if it's white.
Or silver.
Yeah, if it's all that, remember that bronze colour that Alexander Kristoff had?
Yes, I do, yeah.
That was cool. It's a bit.
It's not bronze, mate.
Yeah, no, but
from here it's not bronze. That's a gold chain.
The lighting.
Gold chain. Go on.
Yeah, gold chain.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I mean, this is another fancy submission in the depths.
It's got the logos.
Logos.
And I like that.
Ollie.
What?
It was so close yet so far. Tyre logos on the rear wheel don't match tyre logos on the front wheel.
Where's his tyre logo gone?
Michael, what have you done with it? You were so close. How many times have we said this? Must be about 48, I reckon.
That tyre logo.
The tyre logo.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's a nice bike, Michael. Very nice bike. Right, next up is Isidore in Austria. I'll tell you what, they've used gold chain.
Bang.
That's had quite a bit of HDR treatment, I believe, on the camera, hasn't it?
A lot of HDR.
Yeah. Are you a fan of HDR or not?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a time and a place.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? I think this is probably a time and a place. Because those mountains have popped. That grass has popped.
Mavic Syrian wheels look nice.
Yeah. Pirelli tyres.
Yeah.
You don't see those very often. Got a very thin saddle on there.
Look, he's like got a massive pulley wheel system on there, but it's like invisible with the grass.
Yeah. Too much HDR can do that, can't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a super nice.
I just noticed as well, it's a disc brake bike.
Yeah.
Look at the size of his stem. Look at it.
But look at the size of his seat post and his head tube. He's clearly a
Isidore is a big lad.
Big lad, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that. Super nice.
Yeah. Don't you remember those chain sets either, do you?
No.
Right, super nice. Right, and final one this week, Ollie.
Oh, we've got a Nissan Gtr.
This is from RJ in the Philippines, isn't
Big
it?
fan of the Nissan Gtr there. 544 brake horsepower, 612 Newton meters of torque coming from that, very, very well regarded twin turbo 3.8 litre V6 VR38 DETT power plant.
Yeah.
Beautiful piece of engineering.
Lovely motor, that, isn't it? I don't think, though, just looking closely at it, it's the GTR Spec V, because that's powered by the standard twin turbocharged 3.8 litre engine.
Correct.
But it does, however, include a titanium exhaust, Recaro bucket seats, reworked suspension, carbon ceramic brakes. Is that right?
Knowledge.
And 20-inch Nismo wheels. Of course, Nismo is another variant of the standard GTR. But that's a lovely looking car, isn't it?
Super nice.
Yeah, RJ from the
Super nice
Philippines,
car.
super nice. Next week, more bike fun.
Ooh, it's a good week this week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's nearly time for the end of the show.
Yeah, but before we go, Ollie, we should go through some of our favourite comments underneath last week's videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, first up, JexSeth03. I properly love you two. Tech Dream Team. That's us.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy it. We are available for weddings, funerals, and bar mitzvahs as well, so just in case you're in.
Local supermarkets, we're willing to open those. He would go to the opening of a crisp packet or an envelope. That's how low he would go.
We also got a nice comment from Lars Borghoutz, who said, top duo this, just like Stein Lloydie and Hank and Travolta, they're all good in their own right, as well as in various combinations, but somehow these are my preferred combos. Let us know what you think in the comments section. Thanks for that, Lars.
Yeah.
And also, what's this?
Rob Chastain. Imagine Ollie's delight when in the conference room 2 hours before the show, John suggested that the talking point be aero bikes. Well, sadly, we don't have a conference room, do we?
No, we don't.
We just have a dark basement that we go and sit in before, just to prepare ourselves mentally.
Yeah. And then this comment, you've put this in. Russell Zeckner, what about a segment where viewers get to rate Ollie's coiffure of each week? Bedhead, helmet hair, or first date?
Oh, first date, right? I reckon it would be like slick back, like a member of the mafia or something like that. I could just imagine it, a bit like Lloydie's. Well, yeah, anyway. And then John Batty, Sheffield, finally an accent Ollie can do.
God's sake.
Brutal but fair, I think. But do get involved. I love going through the comments. Some are absolutely outrageous. Michael McDermott, looking at you. Some are really kind as well, aren't they?
Yeah, and to make sure that you don't miss a tech show in the future or any more tech videos, then please subscribe to GCN Tech if you haven't already. And also click the bell icon so that you get notifications when we do upload new stuff. Yeah,
and don't forget to check out the GCN shop at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com. We've got a whole heap of stuff.
Currently these cool France-themed hoodies and t-shirts got one on now.
That Monsieur Bridgewood is wearing here.
Yep, like those.
And now for 2 more great videos, click on Ollie's face.
What for?
Well, a video.
All right, whatever.